Final ep, yeah, episode 12. So let's make the most of it. It's what we have. Let's enjoy it. Let's see what it is. I'm sure being the season finale, it's going to wrap up a lot of the arcs. Well, it kind of, I mean, they kind of wrapped up the war so far, but I think they're actually going to be setting up for the future of this franchise. I honestly don't know whether it's a light novel, a manga, or a web novel. So I don't really know how big this thing is, but typically the last episode of any anime is to try to set up and leave the door open for anything in the future. So let's see how they do that. It's a light novel? Wow, that'd be exciting. All right, let's see. And I fixed the audio. Is it just me or did Tanya just join the fucking Akatsuki? Listen to that music and tell me that it doesn't sound a little bit like the Akatsuki music. Tell me I'm wrong. Why you English? Mi scusi. Mi scusi. Mi scusi. It was like that time I had a nightmare in Hutchins' house. I was in Japan. I was staying at her home, and I was downstairs on the first floor in the guest room, and they were all sleeping upstairs. And when you walk out of the guest room, you can take a left turn, and there's this long, long, dark hallway. It's more than 10 meters long. And in night, it's pitch black. And if you want to get to the bathroom, you have to walk down this hallway and turn left into the bathroom. And so I basically did at the middle of the night. I get up, I go to the bathroom. When I come out of the bathroom to walk back toward the guest room, there was basically this woman wearing this almost like white robe with long dark hair. And she was wearing one of those face masks. And it was basically that scenario of the girl that basically stops you in the middle of the street that asks you, "Am I beautiful?" And then when you say yes, she takes off her mask and she reveals that she had this long scar across her face, and she asks you again, "Am I beautiful?" If you say yes, she'll basically slice you across the face and you'll have the same scar. If you say no, she'll cut you in half. And I remember I had that, and she's like, "Am I beautiful?" And I sort of pause for a minute and I sort of think, why are you speaking English? I realized that it was a nightmare. And I remember in the nightmare, it was like, oh my God, wide eyes open. It's like, oh no, you're not getting away. Grabbed her by the neck and just dragged her across the entire wall, throwing in the other side, ripped her apart like a wild animal, and then I woke up. Whenever I have nightmares now, they become vivid. I only realize that I'm dreaming in nightmares, and whatever it is, like an animal I attack, ever since I had those nightmares regarding the thing in my closet, I basically learned you fight, you never flee. So, Jesus. I sometimes don't even remember my dreams. Or maybe they're alternate lives in the multiverse. So you basically attacked your sleep demon. Yeah, one by one. Every single one of them. Until eventually I ended up coming up against my subconscious, and that was a very interesting scenario. I ended up realizing that it was a vivid dream, and I'm like, oh, I can get out of here whenever I want, because in dreams, if you close your eyes and you open them, you wake up. And my subconscious is like, try. And so I did. And it didn't actually work. And my subconscious is like, well, as you can see, I'm in charge here. And it pretty much just disappeared. And I was basically almost in limbo. I was in the apartment when we were living. The floor plan and everything was exactly the same. But if you walked onto the balcony, there was basically nothing. It was like a void. It was like void of all color. It wasn't even white or black or anything. It was just fucking void. And I was basically stuck there for God knows how long. I mean, I had enough time to recite so many things, and I was just kind of stuck in limbo for a long time because of my subconscious, who, by the way, is a real dick. But, you know, sometimes it comes in handy. Similar for me, except instead I've just consumed so much horror media that I just talk to the sleep demons. I nerd out at my sleep demons and make them so uncomfortable they leave me alone. You have to face your demons head on. At a certain point, I have to ask, who's the demon, me or them? Because I might be in their nightmares. But I automatically get the vibe. This is very similar to what happened with Hitler, except on the opposing side. Hitler was in a medical bed. I think he got hit with mustard gas at some point, and so his eyes had swelled up, and so he was, you know, in the infirmary in a hospital, and that's when Germany surrendered during the war, and that really pissed him off. And I sort of feel that this is sort of the opposite of that, where Tanya wanted to finish the war, but as a result, because of weak leadership, lack of foresight, and cowardice, this war would drag on. And I'm almost getting like a vibe that Tanya is honestly going to become the placeholder Hitler in this light novel. And I'm actually quite excited for that because they keep showing this fucking Reichstag, and as we know, it was burnt down. And you take a look at the eagle this way, it's very Nazi. You know what I mean? It's the fucking Reichstag that was burnt down. So I'm just sort of thinking Tanya's just going to become Hitler. I keep thinking that, especially now. Drunk, eh? Oh yeah. You can see the rage in her eyes. It's there. It's there. It's there. It's there. Mmm. Mmm. This reminds me. I'm gonna have to share it later, but later it reminds me of this extract that was taken from a magazine when they were releasing Star Wars: The Old Republic. They had a book called Deceived, and as part of that release, they released a three-page. It wasn't an article, but it was a three-page story, which was the prequel to Darth Malgus, which was that huge Sith Lord, you know, with the respirator, with pale skin, and that was had no hair. And it's called The Three Lessons. I'll have to find that and share it with you guys. I highly recommend you read it. As soon as I saw that empty cup, it just clicked. I'll have to share it with you guys. I'll share it after Anime Monday on Discord. It'll blow your mind. Or just fucking blow it. This is real coffee, by the way. It's like Black Death. Mm. I mean, it's the very reason why conquerors always killed the ruling families, so there's no one left to rally behind. You kill the entire royal family, you kill the entire shogun's family, you kill the entire warlord's family, sons, women, daughters, wives, grandparents, even the neighborhood cat. You kill everyone that anyone could possibly rally behind. You get rid of them all. I mean, Genghis Khan was an excellent example. Any boy that was taller than a cart's wheel gets killed. Anyone younger than that can be indoctrinated and join the army. The females, well, sometimes their fates were worse than death, but you get my point. It's been used time and time again by who? All the greatest conquerors that did not lose. Who were the ones that lost? That left people alive. It can even be said that what happened during World War II was a result of the Allies not getting a complete victory in World War One. I'm not saying that killing people is correct. I'm just saying the reason World War II happened is because soldiers were left alive in World War One. And one of them sparked the flames of war yet again, and everyone was reignited. Look at all the leaders during World War II. They were all World War One soldiers or leaders. Imagine if you just wiped them all out. There would have been no one to wage the war. Or if there was a war, it would have just been embers, not a flame. I mean, you want to win or you want to win? Well, like, what do you want? What you don't realize is you've got a situation where you have a group of men on death's ground that are resolute, that don't mind getting killed. And they'll be fighting soldiers that are fighting not to kill, but rather to stay alive. If anything, I'll take 100 of these soldiers over 10,000 of the other ones. These guys would tear into the enemy if they have to, go through the throat with their teeth, beat them to death with a buttstock. Whereas the other soldier would be looking for a way out. These guys are going to fight till they die. Question is, will yours? It's like bringing wild, savage wolves against dogs. Seriously, he has his bayonet on the rifle when it's pointing upwards. You're just asking for someone to get themselves stabbed. What are you doing? Wait a minute. They have flying mages with sleighs. I am utterly disappointed that someone doesn't make a sleigh and dress up as Santa Claus while shooting people from the sky. That would be hilarious. dropping bombs and shit. Ho ho ho. I would totally do that. I want to see that happen too. Why has this not happened? Why is this not a thing? We need animators and artists get together. Oh yeah. This guy normally doesn't drink. Is he poisoned? See, you've created a situation in which you're powerful, and that makes you a threat to everyone else. So even if you don't plan on expanding, the simple fact that you can is a threat. And other nations that otherwise would not ally will, because the enemy of my enemy is my friend. So you've painted this huge target on your back. And like it or not, other countries will come to the aid of the smaller ones, because via proxy, it affects them. And no one's going to come to the aid of the big country because they know even if the big country wins, they might just turn on the small countries later. That's why they say no one likes Goliath. They should have just pressed the advantage while they had it. Now they lost it. Where's the Nutcracker? Do the Titanic thing. You know what I absolutely love about looking at this map? This is exactly what happened in World War II because they basically took France, they took Belgium. You would have what's it called, Poland here somewhere, and then you would have also Czechoslovakia. With Poland, it was a half-half split with the Soviet Union. This would be England right here. You've of course got Italy, but in that case, Germany had an alliance with Mussolini, and they also had that alliance with Japan, on the far right. Here, there's no such alliance here. There's no communication with, the Soviet Union and Russia. You've got England just chilling here. Like, man, defending this by yourself, like, what the fuck? Like, how thinly stretched are you going to be? That's why you need allies. They're effectively satellite states that warn you of incoming attacks and effectively stall them to let you to mobilize your military to go and defend it. Here, what are you going to do? You're going to fight on all sides at the same time? How? I love how Tanya's saying exactly what I said a few minutes ago. The Russians! Is that Michael? Yeah, that's Archangel Michael. Right there. It's Archangel Michael. That's how Michael is portrayed with a sword. Ooh, the big gun that Germany created. I can't read that. Ooh, the Americans. Oh, and I love the angel statue just chilling. I love those American Winchester rifles. It's basically a giant revolver. Oh, you do know the reason why they push back a little bit when they try to recruit you It's because if they let you in too easily, you might give up. But if you convince yourself that it's what you really want, you're less likely to leave. See, if you make yourself the bad guy in the world like this, you have to make it so dreadful to even imagine opposing you that you don't even want to. Genghis Khan is an excellent example of this. Any city that he was forced to siege, or besiege technically, would suffer so brutally once it was conquered, and they would always leave one or two survivors to spread the word, that in the future, all he would have to do is send an emissary and tell them, we're here to accept your surrender, and they would surrender. Otherwise, people would literally just kill their loved ones instead of having them taken over by Genghis Khan's army. He made it so brutal and horrifying to be conquered that it was like, die or surrender. And this empire seems to be sitting on the fence. They want to comply with international war treaties, but they don't want to fight. They want to gain land, but they don't want to be monsters. Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. I'm sorry to say it, but the conquerors of old didn't become kings by being nice people. Empires weren't formed that way. And whoever tells you they were is obviously controlling the information and the history books. Because everyone loves to be seen as benevolent and loved. But it is a clear fact that it's more effective to be feared. Yes, it's good to be loved, but people don't go to war and kill and die for you because they love you. They do it because they fear the consequences of being alive without getting the job done to themselves and their family members. Which of the two is more effective? If you can be loved and feared, that's great, but good luck with that. I mean, popes have been trying to do it for God knows how long, and all they can manage is the fear of God's wrath. So, all I'm saying is if you want to be a ruler or a dictator, and you still have some moral reservations, it's the wrong occupation for you. Because you're up against the big baddies, and I'm telling you, there's always going to be a bigger monster than you, and they will not hesitate. It's a bit like Game of Thrones. You either win or you die. There is no middle ground. There is no, I've taken a city and I'm comfy. No. Safety is an illusion. It's a crutch. It's a weakness. It's a pipe dream. Fortresses can just as easily become your prison. That's more like it. Funny thing about pigs, if they're 3-4 days hungry, they will literally eat anything, dentures and all. Bones, easy. Always be wary of the pig farmer. Damn! I was worried for a second. I was like, what type of anime am I watching? And then it was like, yeah, she's gone crazy. It was a bit. It was a bit. I was worried for a minute. I was like, what the fuck is going on here? I was worried there for a second, but only for a second. You got me good, Tanya. You got me good. Oh no, this anime is absolutely beautiful. It follows the skirt analogy perfectly. It's long enough to cover the topic material, short enough to be interesting, beautifully done. The music, the art style, mwah, the action sequences, all of the things. It is done so well. There is no scene wasted, no image wasted. I didn't spot any obvious what the fuck is this, what the fuck is that. It was done really well. The music fits in, the dialogue fits in, the expression, the raw emotion, the energy, what's happening. It was well done. It was well done. It was so good. I absolutely loved it. It's like, yes, we got to watch a movie and an OVA, but I'm talking about these 12 episodes as a season 1 of this anime. Mwah. Delicious. Absolutely delicious. Loved it as a main course. Loved it. It's so difficult. The number that comes up to mind is 9 out of 10. 9 out of 10. I'm going to have to start saving like word files and have it, score, because I don't even fucking remember the numbers I gave to other things. 9 out of 10. I just leave it like 9 out of 10. Good. Yeah. It's like, fuck, I need to start putting, I now got this little text file here on the thing, and I like score and like put the score 9 out of 10. I forgot the scores that I gave to anime, but this one definitely does. It is a strong 9 out of 10. It is raw, it is true to itself, it knows what it is, and it's proud of it. It doesn't give a fuck. It's like, if this is not what you want, get out now. The first episode is almost like a trial by fire, where it says, well, look, there's war, there's death, there's mages, there's flying little girls, God's a dick. Like, it just pops it all in the first episode. And it's like, if this is not what you can handle, get the fuck out of here. It's got that sort of vibe. And it is not afraid to express itself. And it does, and I'm really glad that it does. I'm really glad that it does. I really do appreciate that. I feel there is a lot of watering down and sort of fan servicing to, milk as much as possible. And then you've got something like this, which is raw and pure artistic expression. They didn't unnecessarily make Tanya, overly sexualized just to try to get, a broader audience. Maybe we can get a few more people to watch this if we make her boobs a little bigger, Like, they didn't do that shit. Or they didn't say, like, it's okay, she's a little girl, but she's 1,000 years old, right? It's not pedophilia. She's 1,000, you know what I mean? So they kept it real, and I appreciate that. I really do. I really do. And I fucking love it. I love it. This is just... This is just... Yeah. Good shit. Good shit. That's it. That's all I've got. Yeah, we like how war is like and how the tactics mentality of magic. Yes. They took magic, they put it in, that World War One era, or, just after World War One, which was a bit, but they didn't abuse it to the point that it made no fucking sense. They added it into the world, but they treated it in a realistic manner where it's experimental. They're still working out the kinks. Different countries also have it and are experimenting it. It's almost like a new technology. You know, it's like they just developed flight for the first time and they're trying to work out how they can use it and different, mechanisms and whatnot. So they had it, but, there's still all these other factors in play. They didn't just make Tanya like, this thing and their squad is just fucking massacring everyone and no one can die and no one's a threat. Like Tanya can die. And the threat of death is there. So, Tanya's blessed. But there is a chance to die. If it was Tanya and that other guy one-on-one, Tanya would be dead. But Tanya had a comrade. Because of this whole unrelated, whim, act of kindness of giving the girl a letter of recommendation, which turned into the girl eventually becoming Tanya's subordinate or secretary or whatever you want to call it, underling. And as a result, she went into the thick of it to bail out her commanding officer. That's a sequence of events. Tanya would have died had she not formed this bond of camaraderie with her men. So there's this sort of thing. So like, Tanya, the thing that saved you was your men. Sorry. Right? And had you not clicked with them, they would not have. So it's like, yes, you're a dick, but you're also becoming more human, in a sense. Which is probably what Mr. X is going for. I mean, if Mr. X can just like, I've just created this whole new world, he's getting that point across. He's making Tanya more and more human. I really wonder if at any point Tanya would actually start caring for her comrades. That would be the day. That would be the fucking day. And she almost did a few times. She's too damn stubborn. Yeah, you're just describing the whole Slavic race. Two of my heavily recommended anime for you, Tanya and ReZero, are done. And they both have the same, what's it called? The same band that does the intros and the outros, which, by the way, are absolutely phenomenal. I was listening to the intro, outro all week. I've been blasting it on my phone. Beautiful. Good thing they didn't sexualize Tanya in the show, although there are some Rule 13 made and other stuff. I know the internet is going to do it anyway. I just don't want it over the top in my content. I'm not saying don't sexualize something. You can, but you can do it in a tasteful way. There are ways to do it. Like if a character is sexual or attractive or, whatever, you can do it in a good way that gets that across, makes it part of their character, but doesn't over-sexualize it and just turn it into pure fan service. There are ways to go about it. It's just that the easier path is to increase boob size, increase butt size, reduce the amount of clothing. Done. Oh yeah, add physics engine to the boobs and the ass and we're good. Slap a for sale sticker on it and add a bikini poster in the collector's edition DVD set. We're sorted for summer, It's the cheap way to do it, as opposed to actually making something good, which this is. So, to Tanya the Evil. I knew this would be fun for you, especially since some moments that you bring up, they bring up similar to what you said. I find this scary. I find it scary that I could have a little bit of a rant, say something, and in the same episode, they just do the same thing. Obviously in their own way, but I'm just like, fuck, they did their research. Whoever fucking wrote this shit obviously knows, who the fuck Julius Caesar is, who's Alexander the Great, who's Hannibal. They obviously paid attention to history class for World War II. They obviously know what happened in that period between World War I to II. They obviously understand the tipping point of the war. You know what I mean? You can see it. You can feel it. I could sort of feel that connection to the author. The authors of Overlord and Tanya the Evil are good friends in real life. Doesn't surprise me. They obviously use the same band for their music, so one probably recommended it to the other, which is a good thing. Which is a good thing, and like-minded individuals, you know. So planes, ships, tanks, helicopters, etc. The African theater in World War II saw a lot of innovative tank tactics. Man, you should have seen some of the tanks that were being developed by the British in World War II. They had a bunch of these weird tanks that were developed for different reasons. Hell, you had an amphibious tank. You had a tank for getting rid of landmines, barbed wire, you know, all these little weird tanks that were tinkering with. It was nuts. I think the fun thing in the show is those after credits, how Tanya gets humiliated. Extra scenes, the guy just smoking, funny skits. I think that's good. It provides a release. It lets the episode itself be really serious, and then post credits when you're like, they give you that funny scene where you can just let out all the tension with a good laugh. They understand it and they aced it, and I really appreciate it. If you want to talk weird British tank design, might I interest you in our Lord and Savior Tog-E? Not familiar with them, but I'm sure we can discuss it on Discord. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to kick off Dragon Ball Super. We're obviously going to have more Tanya the Evil next week, which is going to be probably the OVA and the movie. I think the movie's about an hour, and then the OVA is probably 20-30 minutes, so we'll have that next week. I'm looking forward to it. And then we're going to kick off with the Attack on Titan and JoJo Focus Fire. We're probably going to end up voting on which one goes first, but we're going to try to focus fire Attack on Titan and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure to reduce the risk of spoilers, because knowing that JoJo is back in season, I'm keeping my eyes away from social media as to not get hit with a spoiler on the current season as well as any of the previous seasons I haven't seen. And I feel that Attack on Titan, like all things, is going to be a spoiler fest when that comes out as well. So we're going to focus fire Attack on Titan and JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Hopefully get them out of the way. That way we can't get spoiled. And then that way we're going to have 3 anime slots that we're going to vote in, and vote in 3 anime, which is nuts, but it's going to be a thing. And we're going to watch them, and it's going to be cool. And it's going really well. I'm really enjoying it. Like I said before Anime Monday started, I was behind on anime. I really wanted to watch anime. I never had the time to do it. So we just went ahead, created this time slot for anime to make sure we watch some anime. And that's what we're doing, and I'm absolutely loving it. And you guys are exposing me to all these different things. Whether it be Attack on Titan, ReZero, Overlord, Tanya the Evil, I'm getting exposed to a range of stuff I never would have picked up myself, and I'm having a blast. And I'm hoping you guys are too, because, you know, it's a two-way street here. I'm having fun. I'm hoping you're having fun. And it's just so good. I look forward to Mondays. If I didn't have this happening on Monday, Monday would be the worst piece of shit day ever. And now it's not. Now it's Tuesday. Now it's Tuesday. But at least it's not Monday. Have you heard of something called Peach Girl? No, I have not. A tank that was designed with trench warfare in mind, and possibly the longest tank inside in World War II. It literally looks like a land submarine hot dog. We should do a video. Kuma reacts to World War II tanks. You know what I would just do? I would just get some paint and paint it like a hot dog. Herr Commander, there is a hot dog. It's a Frankfurt. There's a Frankfurt on Dead Man's Land. It's like, what? Look with binoculars. What the fuck? The British have Frankfurt on no man's land. Way ahead of you, Kuma. Just search hot dog on Google. Oh, fuck me. This I have to. This I absolutely have to. I'm sorry, I have to. Hot dog. I hope it's not something bad. Oh, sweet Jesus. Someone's having fucking fun. Oh, what the hell? This is a game. This is some fucking game where they turned it into a literal fucking hot dog. Jesus. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh man, fuck off. Amaze, much hit points, prettiness, such tank. Oh my god, Toge too. And then we have this weird shit. Anyways. And then we have this. What the hell's going on here? How many hot dogs did he shove in his mouth? We're on that weird and now it's more and more. You know what? I'm going to get out of this before I get cancelled on Twitch, because when you look up hot tog, there's going to be a naked bikini girl or something. Wait, a naked girl can't be a bikini girl. She's naked. Like, logic check. And obviously, my boobs are not big enough to get away with it on Twitch. We die in the dark so you can live in the light, Kuma. Thank you. I am very grateful that you're out there curating all these anime for me, taking the bullet for me, and binging all this anime so you could find the good shit. And I really appreciate that you keep putting the good shit on my plate, which is giving me mixtures of clinical depression, mental breakdowns, despair at times. It's driving me nuts. It's driving me nuts, but I really do appreciate it. So, yeah. All right, let's take that break and watch some Dragon Ball Z.
Hey, did I hand you a shrinking potion by accident? I could have sworn that was the gender swapping one.
Don't be hating. She's fun size, that's all. She doesn't even have to get on her knees to blow.
You want to add anything to that conversation?
Nope, I'm good. In fact, I think your new size makes you an even more formidable and stealthy ninja.